Hello and welcome. You're watching This is Exclusive with me, Shavan said. Ladies and gentlemen, government land was encroached upon. And when the MCD here in the national capital carried out what was a court-mandated order, it seems that there was a call for mobilization to stop this because they wanted to continue with rumor mongering that a mosque was essentially being targeted by the government. What thereafter turned out was an attack on the Delhi police, and yet again the same very lobby behind the attack that was carried out on Delhi police officials. That's our story number one. The other big story that we are also tracking is that Hamas, which has been taken out of Gaza, appears to have now found a new place, a safe haven, and that is in Pakistan. That's the other big story that we're getting to you tonight on This is Exclusive. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Unholy terror nexus exposed as Hamas leaders and Lashkar-e-Toiba leaders meet in Pakistan. Mobs instigated, stones pelted, police targeted, who activated the anarchy toolkit at Turkman Gate in Delhi.
कॉर्पोरेशंस के चुनाव चल रहे हैं। इन 29 में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ऑलमोस्ट ऑल 29 में हमारा प्रदर्शन अच्छा होगा। बीजेपी शिवसेना हमारा जो अलायंस है, या कई कुछ जगह अलायंस नहीं भी है, लेकिन जहां अलायंस है वो अलायंस को पकड़कर हम लोग 27 जगह पर जीतेंगे, ऐसा मेरा मानना है।
It's the first big political interview of the year. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis in conversation with Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami ahead of the municipal local body polls.
सबसे पहले आपको बताता हूँ, there is no brand ठाकरे. There was only one brand. हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे. That was a brand. अब कोई ब्रांड नहीं बचा है.
Fadnavis's sharp take on Thackeray clan's influence on voters, says the brand doesn't exist anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, chaos erupted in the heart of Old Delhi in the dead of night as a court-ordered anti-encroachment drive near the historic Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque at Turkman Gate turned violent. Now, what began as a routine demolition of illegal structures, basically mandated by the Delhi High Court, turned out to be an absolute chaotic situation. So much so that those who were essentially responsible for carrying out this entire demolition were basically targeted. And it wasn't at the spur of the moment. In fact, it was a pre-planned attack. Crowds basically gathered at midnight, bulldozers rolled in shortly thereafter, and soon stones started raining down on police personnel. But what tells the story are essentially the pictures. Multiple videos have basically emerged that hint at a sinister plot. This was certainly no spontaneous protest. It was a carefully orchestrated attempt to create social unrest. This is the very same Faiz-e-Ilahi Mosque that hit the headlines just 2 months ago when CCTV footage captured Red Fort suicide bomber Omar Nabi visiting the site for over 10 to 15 minutes, hours before he detonated a high-intensity car bomb. And now, 6 years after the Delhi riots, a chillingly similar pattern basically unfolds. Instigation, mobilization, anarchy. Now, before we break down the details, I'm going to take you through the full sequence of events that took place in the capital in midnight, where we saw absolute pandemonium on the streets. And more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that there was an attempt that was made by a section there to carry on with the rumor mongering related to this very mosque that I spoke about. First, take a look at a series of pictures, images that we have basically accessed, which tells you the full story.
सब अपनी दुकानें बंद करके सब बंद करके आइए इधर। ये देखिए मुसलमानों का क्या हाल है।
तेरी कसम वो भाग भाई वाह जवाब नहीं। हाँ भाई नहीं वाह जीरा रही है भाई वाह।
The structure, the very part which was for which the direction was given by the Delhi High Court to the MCD that it comes under the illegal encroachment area, and for which proper survey was done back in October, and then much later in November, and then in December directions were released by the Delhi High Court that so and so square kilometer of range of this particular mosque area will be raised. Now, as of now, the update is that the whole situation has been under control, has been taken under control by the police officials, Delhi police officials and the officials of the RAF.
कितने स्ट्रेचेस आए?
3 आए हैं सर।
सर पे?
हाँ जी सर।
क्या हुआ था, मतलब आप वो लोग थे वहाँ पर तैनात थे, कैसे भीड़ इकट्ठी हो गई?
हमारी ड्यूटी सर के साथ में 11:30 से लगी थी। हम वहीं पे पहुंच गए थे। साहब समझाने के लिए काफ़ी टाइम तक उन्होंने बोला कि जाओ भाग जाओ, यहाँ से भाग जाओ, पर वो उन्होंने नहीं गए वो। और फिर बाद में अचानक से ही उन्होंने पथराव चालू कर दिया।
ये तुर्कमान गेट की तरफ से पथराव?
हाँ जी, तुर्कमान गेट्स की तरफ से हुआ है। काफ़ी भीड़ थी, तो फिर वो भीड़ में हेलमेट पहना था वो गिर गया, फिर ऊपर से पीछे से पत्थर लग गया।
कितने लोग इकट्ठे हो गए थे?
काफ़ी थे सर, अब तो बहुत ज़्यादा ही थे।
दिल्ली में फैज ए इलाही मस्जिद के आसपास के देखिए अवैध अतिक्रमण को हटाने का काम किया जा रहा था, लेकिन जब अवैध अतिक्रमण को हटाने का काम किया जा रहा था उस समय वहां पर जो है हालात बेकाबू हो गए। कई लोग देखिए वहां पर एकत्रित हो गए और भीड़ जो है किसी को उकसावे में आकर पुलिस पर लगी पत्थरबाजी करना है। 5 लोग देखिए इस पूरी पुलिसकर्मी जो है घायल हो गए, जिनको मामूली चोटें आई। लेकिन मोहबिल्ला नदवी जो कि देखिए रामपुर से सपा के सांसद हैं, वो भी जब वहां पर हिंसा भड़कने लगी, जब पुलिस पर पत्थरबाजी शुरू हो रही थी, वहां पर वो भी उस दौरान पहुंचे हुए थे। अब आरोप ये लग रहे हैं कि क्या जो भीड़ वहां पर गुस्साई, जो आक्रोशित हुई, क्या उनको उकसाने का काम नदवी ने किया? क्योंकि नदवी देखिए कल देर रात से इस समय फरार हैं। उनका आवास है यहाँ पर, यहीं पर 1802 नंबर के फ्लैट में वो रहते हैं, लेकिन अभी तक उनका कुछ भी यहाँ पर पता नहीं है।
देखो, ऐसा है कि माननीय हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है कि अवैध जो निर्माण है उसको रामलीला ग्राउंड से हटाया जाए, और आदेश का पालन हुआ। 1940 के अंदर LNDO द्वारा ये ज़मीन एक कब्रिस्तान को अलाट की गई, उसके ऊपर मस्जिद बनी। मस्जिद के साथ जो बाकी जगह थी, एक बैंक्वेट हॉल था या कोई पब्लिक फैसिलिटी की वहाँ पर थी, मगर जो हमें ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट का जो ऑर्डर था हटाने के लिए म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन ने अपना काम किया, मगर धार्मिक स्थल को हमने 1 इंच भी टच नहीं किया।
सर, तो कोई नोटिस इशू करा गया था उन सबको?
देखो, दोनों पार्टीज़ को कोर्ट का आदेश था, नोटिस ऑलरेडी दिया गया था सबको।
Well, in fact, who exactly was behind this riot? The first pictures of the rioters have now been accessed by Republic TV, which shows the 5 people who have been taken into custody. Now, if you take a look at the sequence of events, it's quite clear that this was pre-planned, orchestrated. In fact, I'm going to take you through the details of the 5 people on your screens right now. And who are these? Who have now been unmasked by the Delhi police. In fact, it turns out that there was a call for mobilization that was essentially made by these very people. And from the videos that have come in, it seems that there was a deliberate attempt that was basically made to give it a communal spin. In fact, videos were essentially made of the bulldozers that were brought in. And the messaging that they were trying to do was that the mosque was being targeted when that was not the case. In a short while from now, I'm also going to take you through the details of the High Court order, which clearly talks about the encroachment that has taken place. on a land that belongs to the PWD, which is essentially a government land. On your screens right now, I'm going to stay with these pictures for a minute, and if I can see if I can go across to Aishwarya Kapoor, who's going to join us from the very place. In fact, that's where we are given to understand the riots actually broke out. Aishwarya, we are putting out the first set of pictures of the 5 rioters. When I spoke to the Joint Commissioner earlier today, and in an interview to Republic TV, he clearly indicated that it appears that this was pre-planned, orchestrated, and there was rumor mongering that was taking place. What's the situation like on the ground?
Well, absolutely, Shavan. And while I'm just going to move the camera and request my video journalist to zoom in, you could still see bulldozers, JCB are doing their work. But the main point is, which you were just referring to, the rumor mongering, the religious structure stands untouched. And I will just request Vijay Surendra to just pan the camera across. That's the religious structure about which fake information, rumors were being mongered around. That is the structure which is being targeted. The police has made it sure that not an inch of that religious structure is checked. And right behind me, just 180 degrees behind me, is the Turkman Gate. And those are the para forces and the Delhi police, which is present in huge numbers. They're keeping in mind, they are keeping a very, very tight vigil. I'll just request the video journalist to move with me. That's where the action is. That the JCB is on. This whole road leading up to Turkman Gate is normally clogged with traffic, but it's been completely put down after last night's stone pelting. Delhi police make sure that no one is being allowed from inside the old Delhi roads. They have completely blocked them. They have told the people that for the next 48 hours, there is no pedestrian walking. Even jaywalking has been prohibited. And as we are standing right behind one of the JCBs, the other works right there. But the rumor mongering, Shavan, which was being done on social media, so the police is also targeting those very social media handles which were spreading fake information. And hence, the first thing I wanted to show you is the religious structure, which is completely untouched. The fake information which was being spread that the religious structure is going to be targeted by the MCD, because this is the same infamous Turkman Gate area. If you remember, long time back in the 70s, there were a lot of casualties when the then municipal corporation tried to clear this area. But this time around, nothing of that sort happened at all. And once again, trying to show you that how the barricading has been done while on my left, the JCBs are working. There are at least 3 shifts in which the JCBs and the dumpers are working, so that it's 24/7 round-the-clock work is happening. Government does not want to waste any minute for that. So there are senior police officials present here, and the RAF and the para forces, and right behind us, senior police officials arriving on the state, while the IPS officers present there receiving him. And you have Madhur Verma right there, and you have the senior police officials right here. Madhur, do you mind if I could just ask you a few questions? All right. So he's saying that his officers will answer, but on this very fact is that the Delhi police is keeping a very, very tight vigil after what has happened late last night. So they are keeping a very close vigil on this, and we are going to keep you with these live visuals. He's taking a stock of the situation. He's seeing, yes, and I would just request my camera person to move the camera with it, and we're going to, yeah, Shawan, over to you.
Aishwarya, while we stay with these pictures also coming in, there is another breaking news coming in. This is with regards to the High Court order, which makes it very clear what was being targeted. And as my colleague Aishwarya Kapoor has been showing you the reality on the ground, the mosque has not been touched at all. In fact, as far as the encroachment is concerned, this is what the High Court order mentions. It talks about an encroachment on 2,512 square feet land that belongs to the PWD, effectively a government land. It also exposes the claim of the pro-Pelter groups on encroachment, because if you have seen already the videos that have essentially come in, which shows that they were talking about the mosque being targeted. The other order also makes a mention of an area of 36,428 square feet encroachment on an MCD land. And it all talks about a private medical facility that is operating on the encroached land. Mosque on 7,343 square feet land was not transferred to the MCD. I'll bring in Aishwarya for a quick word and also show you what's really happening on the ground. Aishwarya, the details are out. The High Court made a mention of the encroachment that was taking place on a PWD land, And as far as the MCD land is concerned, there too there has been encroachment, but the High Court order does not make any mention of the fact that the mosque should be razed down. So there is no question of the mosque being brought down.
Not an inch has been touched, not an inch, and the Delhi police is making sure that the fake information which is being spread is being countered with proof, and that's why you see senior police officials present here taking a stock of the situation, that only the encroachment part has been touched, and not an inch. That's what we are being told of the mosque has been touched or has been broken down. They're making it very clear that only the encroachment is being touched. You have senior police officials taking a stock of the situation, and complete encroachment. And you see right behind me, if I give you a 180-degree and I pan the camera across, that's what the encroachment is. You have a more than 700 square meter of area which was completely encroached upon, and that's what I'm saying. The encroachment is being brought down even while I speak to you, Shaban. The bulldozers are on, the JCBs are working, and I'll request my camera person to pan the camera across towards the encroachment which is being brought down. So the encroachment is being safely brought down by the Delhi police team and the MCD team, which is working all throughout, making sure that not an inch of the religious structure, but only the illegal structure which were built over years and years is being brought down. So very, very clearly, Shaban, the government is taking very precautionary measure. Yes, para forces have also been brought in, just keeping in mind after the last night's stone pelting. But as far as the religious structure is concerned, I could confirm to you, that's what we are being told. Not an inch of that has been touched. Shawan.
Thank you very much, Aishwarya, for getting us that quick ground report that tells us the reality. The mosque wasn't even being touched. In fact, let me now take you through what the Joint Police Commissioner, Madhur Verma, had to tell me earlier today when I asked him directly about the role of a Samajwadi Party parliamentarian, as well as whether at all this was actually pre-planned or not. Listen to what the Joint Commissioner had to say. Madhur Verma, the Joint Police Commissioner, Delhi Police, joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Verma, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. What essentially happened last night, and if we go by the videos that have been accessed, it appears, Mr. Verma, that there has been a call for mobilization. It seems somewhere down the line the plan was to carry out an attack on the Delhi police. What's the preliminary understanding?
Delhi police has registered the FIR in this said case. We have registered the FIR under sections of 221, 132 to 121 of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and we have already also booked them under section 3 of Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act. During investigation, 5 accused persons, namely Muhammad Shahnawaz, Muhammad Arif, Muhammad Kashif, Muhammad Adnan, and Muhammad Kaif. They were all initially detained and then subsequently arrested from the scene of crime only. As it seems that they didn't want the lawful exercise of encroachment removal to be conducted by MCD to complete. So they, in order to make sure that the Delhi police or these MCD officials do not carry out their duties, they pelted stones on the police party. And police party reacted immediately, and we used all tear shells, and immediately they scattered, and some of them were arrested.
Mr. Verma, it's quite unacceptable when public servants are being attacked. What we saw earlier today was that Delhi police officials were being attacked. There have been injuries that have been reported so far. Could you tell us a little bit about whether at all this mob that indulged in stone pelting, were they armed? Was this some sort of a pre-planned act? Because if you see the number of videos, there were multiple calls for mobilization. They were asking people to come out on the street to see the demolition drive, to prevent the police, to prevent the MCD officials from carrying out their job.
See, we cannot rule out the possibility of it being a pre-planned, violent stone pelting attack. It cannot be ruled out. However, in just matter of few minutes, Delhi police, made sure that they were, overpowered. 5 of them were arrested, and remaining also ran away. And the entire process of demolition and encroachment removal carried out smoothly. It started at 1 a.m. in the midnight and continued till 7 a.m. And at the moment also that debris removal exercise is going on. Situation is absolutely normal at the moment. There were these miscreants who tried to stop the process, giving it a different color. They are booked and being investigated. By our special staff. Inspector special staff is looking into all the aspects, including the conspiracy, including those social media reels, videos, which tried to, influence those protesters. They are being looked into by our special staff, and we will definitely take action on them also.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is the Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Tarisha.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
S200 motors.
Plus 20 seconds.
Lift off normal.
L40 stages are ignited. Plus 5 seconds. Plus 20 seconds. First stage performance normal. L40 stages thrust cut off. Plus 5 seconds. Auto tracking.
PSLV 661 का सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन प्रथम प्रमोचन मंच से अपने उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर अपना सफर जारी कर चुका है।
There's a magnificent
2, 1, 0. All L40 engines generating nominal thrust. S139 motor ignited. First stage performance normal. 0. S200 motors ignited. Plus 5 seconds. P1 tracking. S200 motors separated. Two, 1, 0. First stage performance normal.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
I'm here with the founder of Blue Machines AI, my friend Nirmit, and we're just about to record something which I think is going to make history. In brief, can you tell them what we are going to be doing?
Pit Blue Machines versus Arnab, right? And that is the true test of an AI system. Can it debate the best orator which India has seen?
Okay, Nirmit, you asked for it. I'm not going to pull my punches on this one. So thank you for doing this. Let's see which side wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Game on.
Game on. Let's go for it.
In association with Blue Machines.
When we look out at the world, Samir, we look for partners. We don't look for preachers. Engaging America has become more complicated. You all know why. Having a neighbor that is an epicenter of global terrorism.
India in 2025 saw many international diplomatic moments of India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, who literally turned international politics and the diplomacy that comes with it into an art of savage roasts. From jeering comments on Pakistan to calling out Trump and Western hypocrisy, here are the top roast moments of the year 2025, where Jaishankar served cold but harsh truths month by month.
All big countries are unique to an extent, but we would certainly hope, to the extent we think of democracy as a universal aspiration, ideally a reality, but at least an aspiration. It is in large part because India chose a democratic model after independence. And it chose a democratic model because we had fundamentally a consultative, pluralistic society. Now, there was a time, and I have to say this in all honesty, where West treated democracy as a Western characteristic and was busy encouraging non-democratic forces in the global South. It still does. In many cases, I can point to some very recent ones, where actually everything that you say you value at home, you don't practice abroad. So I do think the rest of the global south will view, the successes and the shortcomings and the responses of other countries. They will also ask themselves which ones of them they relate to, I would argue that in many ways, India, because it's historically been an open society, one very much linked with the world.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from your smartphones to your smart television. Trending stories are breaking the internet. Tonight, we kick off with the courtroom hearings that took place to global political roasting. The Supreme Court's blunt remarks on the stray dog menace have sparked a nationwide debate. While across the world, Donald Trump is on a mock mode spree, humiliating Nicolas Maduro over copycat dance moves and taking jabs at both Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Modi with his tariff threats. Meanwhile, cricket is heating up too as the ICC shuts down Bangladesh's demand to shift the World Cup match out of India. And on the streets of Iran, massive protests continue to sweep through over 100 cities amid deepening economic meltdown. We have this and a lot more packed in this edition. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, what's trending on the charts today are the observations of the Supreme Court on the stray dog case. Today, the Supreme Court of India was straight up and direct during the stray dog hearing. The bench spoke in an upfront manner while balancing human safety versus animal rights in this endless menace debate. The hearing, ladies and gentlemen, took place today in the afternoon and arguing was Kapil Sibal. Also from the animal welfare side was Golin Gonsalves. Both of them presenting their arguments to the court, and the Supreme Court had some statements to make which currently is trending on the internet. Kapil Sibal, repping the dog lovers, dropped gems like "they never bite me" and "if one tiger attacks a man, not all tigers are caged." Pushing hard for the global capture sterilization vaccination release model, cause mass removal could backfire big time with poor waste management and no proper shelters. But the judges weren't having it. Justice Vikram Nath hit back with quote unquote, "You do not know what the mood the dog is in the morning, and prevention is better than cure." The Supreme Court even shedded the idea of counseling dogs so that they don't bite after release. Then came the real mic drop. Bench asked why all the focus on dogs when don't chickens and goats have lives too? Sibal meanwhile clipped back saying that he has quit eating chicken over the cruelty, caging, slaughtering them. This hearing got Twitter exploding with topics like dog lovers versus sacred parents, vegans versus everyone. Keeping this aside, ladies and gentlemen, one thing is for sure. The Supreme Court wants real solutions as soon as possible without drama. During the heated Supreme Court hearing, senior advocate Golin Gonsalves, representing the animal welfare NGOs, emphasized that dogs are sentient beings suffering widespread cruelty, including being poisoned, beaten, and suffocated, and made the shocking claim that raping of dogs by human beings is a common practice. Gonsalves also argued that most Indians feel safer with stray dogs around. Nothing, they act as nighttime guardians while human guards sleep amid ongoing debate